I've been thinking, given that not too long ago, so less than 4 years ago, I quit the job because I had worked too long hours, I was stressed too much, and it was unfulfilling. And after quitting, I was offered 1,000 euros per day, and I refused for the same reasons. I wanted to be with the family, and I wanted to focus on finding solutions to the problems I had at home. So now I can't really find a job. I simply don't get responses. Or if I do, they are shit. And I've kept contemplating and thinking, why can I not find something that works? No answer came, but I woke up this morning. Yesterday, I felt really shattered. I went to sleep feeling really shattered. I'm not sure when and if I'm gonna see my kids again. And that alone hurts. It's not the first time this happened. And with my first kid, it took a long time to finally rebuild the relationship I want to have with my kids. Never mind. So this morning I woke up with this strange revelation in my head. Why don't I fit in? Why I never fit in anywhere, easily at least. Not even as a child. As a kid, in a situation as we were, there was a lot of stuff going on, war in Yugoslavia, refugees, all of these things. So that meant, in a nutshell, there was loads of poverty. And my family still somehow turned out to be the poorest in a very big neighborhood. So, yeah, I was the target. I got bullied. For years, I've suffered abuse from a lot of people and failures, systematic failures on behalf of experts like psychologists in the school, social services, and so forth. I've even been moved to a foster family and then demanded to go back because I was also beaten in the foster family. So if I'm gonna be beaten, I'm gonna be beaten by the people I already know. That's exactly what I told them. Fast forward, I had a relationship, 3 years, with a girl. At that point, I could not describe really what exactly is the matter with her, because she came from a family that was wealthy, but the relationship between her parents, was definitely not an exemplary one, but not as in abusive or anything. It was just a lot of cheating and stuff like that going on. And this girl also cheated on me with a guy, among others, with a guy that wanted to be my friend for whatever the cost. And when this guy wanted to apologize for what he did, I accepted to talk with him. And he spoke for 4 hours. And when he finally finished talking, and now I'm the person who does talk a lot. When he finally finished talking, I haven't said almost a word in between. And when he finished, I said, "Are you done?" just take me home, please. And when he did take me home, he himself, given that he always presented himself as being a really, really strong guy, martial artist, whatnot, it turned out that everything he ever said about his life and himself was a complete lie anyway. But never mind that. He said, one thing he said that really bothered me was, now the student overcame the master. And I said, obviously, shut the fuck up, because you're no master. And that was one. And the second thing he said, I'm so surprised you didn't hurt me. At that point, I did admit that many people have said what they would have done to him. Many of my friends, many people have said what they would have done to him. And I told him what has crossed my mind. But of course, I would say that a lot of people have intrusive thoughts. You get angry, people hurt you. You might want to think about how payback would be done. But of course, personally, I always felt, in the end, love, compassion, forgiveness, empathy for all these people. And this is where I stood out, because even my best friends always said, it is unbelievable what people have put you through, what you have been through, how much bad luck you have in life, and yet still you are the most happy guy I've ever met, the most honest guy I've ever met, and so forth. I've been around the world, been to Namibia, driving around in a minivan with African people, filled with African people who, it was hot. It was just incredibly hot, incredibly uncomfortable, but so much fun. And as we were talking, sharing stories, where we're from, what we're doing in life, our experiences, they loved me so much that I got invited to villages not where even white cops did not dare to enter. And it was just so much fun. Then I was in Abu Dhabi, sitting in a Moroccan restaurant with a colleague, sharing a drink and some jokes. And next to us, some rich Arabs were sitting, sharing their jokes. And we started laughing at each other's jokes. I ended up being invited, together with my colleague, to this guy's apartment. Turns out that was a director of staff of Abu Dhabi National Oil Company. And we had an amazing conversation about pretty much everything. That was such an incredible experience. Most of all, when we were talking, he said, for someone who is not from the circles that I know, you know a lot. You know too much. You need to be careful what you say and who you say it to. And I said, I know. Problem is, I am too honest. I'm not always careful enough. Which is true. And yeah, this guy also said what many people have said to me. You are one of a kind. You are one of those rare people that are really one of a kind. And that my life is definitely always going to be challenging. There's always going to be people who are going to do whatever it takes to try and challenge, compete and be better and whatever not with me. And that's not even something I'm really surprised. It's just really funny, because at the end of the day, never mind who loses, whether it's me losing everything or them losing me, or whatever happens, in the end, still, all these people, cheaters, liars, abusers, bullies, parents, sisters, at the end of the day, I've always really been grateful. And funny enough, that part was never really hard. No. The only hard part that was always really, really hard for me to deal with is what people do to their children, whether they're my kids or anyone else's, and what we do to the children around the world, with either what we do or don't do. Ignorance is not bliss. And that's where I've always been very different, and why I don't fit in. I'm myself the impossible story. I've achieved the impossible. I've proven the people, if they believe in the impossible, they can achieve anything they want. Anything is possible. That's why I don't fit in. That's why I can't find a job, because where people basically just read, hear, or see, their mind still cannot comprehend. And I truly get it. Sometimes the things that happen to me are outright incredible. Surviving an attack on a boat, the way I survived it, like I would say pretty much I felt an invisible force pulling me back when I was almost thrown overboard. I cannot explain it. There is no logical, reasonable explanation for it. I have another explanation which came to me completely on its own. I have one person I've always really loved outside of the family and relationships, was the one person I could have always called my best friend, because we really had each other's backs. And I often saved him from himself without ever knowing what was actually the matter with him. We only knew or learned what was the matter with him after he passed away. And when he did pass away, it was all of a sudden unexpected, and definitely not in the way anyone would want him to go. But yeah, I would say that moment when I was saved, I felt a presence. And I got the answer later on, that presence is this best friend, like my own brother, true brother from another mother, who was there. I saved his ass many times, he saved mine now. And that's the best explanation I have. I never believed in any of these things, but then again, anything is possible. I do believe that I am possible. That's the wordplay in the impossible part. Believe in yourself, believe in the magic, believe in whatever you want. But most of all, stay grateful, even for the bad things that happen to you. Because if you survived, you just know how freaking strong you are. And the people that tried to hurt you have shown you how weak they are. Especially if they still haven't come back to you and apologized for anything that they've said, done, and they know it was a lie or wrong. That just shows who they are. And yeah, I definitely wish to see my children, because every kid needs a healthy parent in their life. Peace. Love you all. Thanks for watching and subscribing.